Hi, I'm Elizabeth Carris with Tiedemann Wines.
And I'm Italiano from WEXS Wine Export Services.
And what do we have this morning with this wine?
Brunello di Montalcino. I'm sure that most of you have known about it, have heard about it, probably didn't drink about it because it's very expensive, and actually is one of the flagship wines of Italy. What is about the specialty of the Brunello di Montalcino? First of all, has to be 100% Sangiovese. And why special Montalcino? Because Montalcino is the side of the hill in Tuscany that gets more of the sun. If I have to use one American word to describe Brunello di Montalcino, I would say indigenous. What does that mean? It means that actually the wine is completely made by nature. And the winemaker doesn't have to do anything else than aging the wines produced by the nature into oak barrels for 6 years before bottling, or 7 years before bottling if it's a Reserva.
Why so long in the barrels?
Well, because that along the time was proved to be the time span, to allow the wine to express better the tannins. In fact, the grapes, that gets the sun on the hill of Montalcino, gets rich in sugar, and the sugar inside the oak barrels turns into tannins. So 6 years is just the time for allowing the Sangiovese grape to express better that aging power.
It's a long time.
It's a very long. That's why also it's very expensive. Here we are talking about a $200 a bottle. So $200 bottle, and it's very expensive. But how could you ever know if the vintage on the label, in this case 2004, is actually a good vintage to buy? Because we are talking about a wine that could cost 200, 150, 300. One of the tips that I can give you is to check online what were the weather conditions in October. For instance, here we have the vintage 2004. Check the weather condition in October 2004. I say October because usually the harvest is the harvest time for the Sangiovese grape, and if the temperatures are higher than the average degree of the season, you are going to get a good Brunello di Montalcino, just because the grapes holds more sugar and into the barrel expanded the power of the tannins. So any other question? I'm just really here to answer.
As far as Italian wines versus American wines, why would somebody want to choose an Italian wine?
In this case, Brunello di Montalcino, because as I said, indigenous. American let's say American Chianti is completely a different wine because the land, the geology, the geography, the sun exposition is completely different, and that is not an opinion, is a fact. So I would suggest before that you should taste both the Chianti from California and then the Chianti, in this case Brunello di Montalcino from Tuscany, and just only by making a comparison you can understand what's the difference. In terms of let's say you want to place a dinner where you want to just introduce the Brunello di Montalcino. Now of course you will have also the wines, and the secret for better expressing the Brunello di Montalcino along the dinner is to create a wine list that is going to improve the final tasting of the Brunello. So for instance, you are not going to have before the Brunello any other red wines unless it's an acidic wines like Barbera d'Asti, that is just lower in tannins, but has a fresh splash of acidity. So in that case, you are preparing your tasting buds to better perceive the tannin of the Brunello di Montalcino.
Without
But
ruining your palate.
Yeah,
ahead.
exactly. But
Sure.
if you just start with wines that in any case are powerful in tannins, you are going to decrease the perception of the fragrance and the savor of the Brunello.